Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dreams Unveiled with your hosts, Daun Whittaker.
And Melissa Salazar.
And this is the first episode of the new year, 2026.
Yes,
Woo!
yay! We made it.
We made it. Yeah, I think we started in February of last year.
Yeah. We're almost to a year?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
we are. Oh, we should have a big we should have like a champagne celebration or something.
I would love that.
We need to do something for that. Yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed their holidays. I love Christmas. I am such a Christmas fan. And I hope you have a great new year. I really have high expectations for 2026. This will be the last episode filmed in our little studio here for a little while. I think we're going to be on Zoom for beyond this for a little while because my husband and I will be going to Florida to go hang out with his dad for a little while.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not unhappy about that.
Yeah.
I'm leaving behind a great deal of snow. You know, my big fear is because we're driving, I'm going to come back and like there's going to be 6 feet of snow in the driveway and we won't be able to get in. Right? That is like a little
awful.
concern.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not so worried about it that I'm going to
not go. Yeah, you go. You go and snow will be fine. Snow will be here or not be here.
That's right. Yeah, it'll melt. It'll melt eventually.
Yes.
So today is an interesting dream submitted to us by Abby in Rochester.
Yay, I'm excited.
Slightly outside of the Oswego area. Rochester is about, an hour and 15 minutes away from...
Straight shot.
Yep. So here we are. And Abby's dream, we talked on the phone, I'm not going to read it, but very simply, Abby has been in a very long time relationship, and then about, over a year ago, the relationship abruptly ended with absolutely no closure. It was the strangest thing because he had to leave and moved out of state, and things were at an all-time high in the relationship, for Abby. And so this has been a real tough situation for her. And as a result, it really took a long time for her to work through that and actually really believe it was over and the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So here's the dream that goes along with that little background. The dream is Abby is driving a car, and Ed and Eddie. Did you ever watch it?
I did.
So fun.
But I think it's cute. Abby, Eddie.
I know it is, yeah. Eddie is sitting in the passenger seat, and they're driving, and it's snowy, and it's dark. But the snow has brightened everything up because it's so white and so bright. And I feel like I'm doing a nursery rhyme right now.
Yeah.
So they're driving on the straight road. Everything is like the same. Everything's copacetic. They're driving. She normally would not drive in the snow when the weather is bad. She would be really thoughtful, but Eddie did all the driving. And I actually asked that because it's relevant. Cars, driving, relevant stuff in dreams. And then they hit this hill, and this hill literally is like a 90-degree angle straight up. And before we get to that part, as they're driving down on this road, I can't even say down because it's just a flat, straight road, there is an old pickup truck in front of them. Just something really old, like an old Chevy truck just in front of them. And the old Chevy truck is kind of driving a little erratically for the weather conditions. And it's kind of swerving and just being reckless. So what Abby does is she pulls back a little and creates some distance between her and the truck because she's getting nervous. And the truck goes all the way up this 90-degree hill, and they're, coming up this 90-degree hill behind. And she gets up to the top of the hill and sees the truck go over the cliff. So she described it like it's the road gets up to the top and you get over it, and if you go too far, you're down on the cliff. But then she gets out of the car and looks and sees that the truck is just driving off in the distance. So so there's no death here in this, for the truck. She then goes into a house, and there are a couple of kids, and it's not her house, but she recognizes that the bedroom is very similar setup and looks like the one in her own house. And she did make a remark to Eddie. She's like, would you look at this? The stove's not in the same place. And anyway, Eddie was actually laying in bed, but he was on her side of the bed. So, and that's where the dream ends. That was the whole dream. Yeah. And I loved hearing this dream because I recognized after she shared with me how, the lack of closure and all of that with the relationship when he had to abruptly leave. It may have been a job. I think he left for a job, but it was unanticipated. And I think that lack of closure was a problem. But she's coming to this place now, almost a year later, where she's in the realization that that's happening. And I think this dream really represents that journey.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, driving in the car.
Moving forward.
Yep.
She's on a journey going forward.
What's interesting is because Eddie did all the driving, I think that the important part about that is he's not driving now.
She's in the driver's seat. So she's in control.
That's right. And it's not really she's in control of the relationship. She's in control of her life again. That this relationship ending abruptly is not what has hold over her.
Mm-hmm.
It is now her really recognizing it's time to move on.
Yeah.
So that is a big deal. I think,
especially her driving in the snow. She's not a fan of driving at all. So if her driving in the snow, which
that's right,
way worse, shows a huge thing. So it's her taking reins back.
That's right. That she's back in the driver's seat, literally.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, and now here's an important part of it. Snow in a dream. First of all, snow is cold,
mm-hmm.
which could really show that the relationship is no longer warm. It was hot and then warm, and now the relationship is cold. Okay,
cold
and
as
ice. I don't think it's snowing in her dream because it's snowing here. I think it's snowing in the dream to represent that coldness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and remind me, because we'll probably tie that into the stove moving, because it was like a. I got the impression it was like a wood stove and not like a cooking stove.
Yeah,
I could be
like
wrong,
a heat source,
yes.
right?
And either way, it would probably represent the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's a really big deal. Now this old truck.
Yeah, I think this is a huge thing for it.
And there's one thing that Abby said, because I was asking, I said, well, it's relevant that it's a pickup truck in front of you. And she said, yeah, but before he left, we were looking at buying one. So we wanted it. So Abby and I, in our discussion, were questioning, is the truck representative of her or him or the relationship? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not positive, but I'm not so sure it matters.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that it's relevant because I think it still takes us to the same path.
Yeah.
Whichever. It's really about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So so this 90-degree going up, and we've learned this in another dream. Remember the college dorm?
Yeah.
And going to the dining hall? That it is really about upward mobility. It means really coming from this bottom place, and you're
moving
going
forward,
up.
Right.
So, even though most of the time in dreams, moving forward is a positive thing, but it doesn't mean it has to be. It just means you're moving forward.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, it is a positive representation, but then going up, and that is really a big deal. So the relationship was on that track, but it was all over the place, right? And even fell off the cliff, right? The old relationship, the Chevy pickup, okay? Mm-hmm. And here they are now going to the top of this hill. What she did notice, and this is really important, that I think the fact that he's in the car with her, even though this relationship has been over for almost a year, even, they've been talking and stuff, but I mean, for all intents
Right, they haven't been living
purposes.
together or,
Yeah, so a big change. But I think the interesting thing about it is that the relationship, both of them they're both okay.
Right.
All right. I think that's really important to understand at the point of this dream. But the truck indicates that, and I think the truck and I'm leaning more toward it being her, because I think the truck represents not the old relationship, but that 11-month period between everything was fantastic and, he's got to leave and do this job, and now we're in this place.
Yeah.
That part, because there's absolutely no closure. There's no time between one day I'm in a relationship, the next day I'm not. Right? And that's got to be
traumatic.
Very difficult. I know I've worked with a lot of people that have had very sudden loss and everything. And it is very difficult. That adjustment period after it is very difficult. In fact, there's something called an adjustment disorder for people that go through really fast, extraordinary change, unexpected. Even when it's good change, this can still happen.
Yeah.
And your mind has a hard time adjusting to such a great change. So that may be why this has lingered with her for so long. I mean, that's really a hard thing to...
Right, 11 months is a long time to have to deal with something like that, alone.
And her report is that their relationship was fantastic. There was no indication in her mind of anything like this. So, so I think, whatever, the job promotion was probably very unexpected. It was a very hard time when he had to move.
Mm-hmm.
They did not want to do anything long distance, although they tried it later on. But I think at that point...
they realized it didn't work out.
So here we have this whole situation. And so I think the truck was off the rails, and now it's okay.
Right, fine, just driving the distance.
Yeah.
As a peaceful thing, she sees it, she acknowledges it, it happened, it was there, but she's still moving forward.
That's right. And it may have been both of them in the truck. It was too dark for her to see anyone in the truck.
Yeah.
So...
but I'm sensing like a sense of peace with that almost.
Absolutely. Like the truck found its way.
Right. Like it's like that's growth. That's growth right there. It's a 2026 growth of the year right there.
That's right. I know. This is really a great New Year dream, isn't it?
This is a good one.
Wow,
right.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so now she's on top of the cliff. They get to the house. She goes in the house and there's children.
There's children, yes. And she does have children, and who are very impacted by this relationship breakup. So I think that was that's representative of that. She recognizes this is not her house, but once again, houses represent our inner self, our subconscious, our emotions. The rooms in houses often represent different aspects of us.
Mm-hmm. So now she's in the bedroom.
She is in the bedroom, and it looks pretty much like the same bedroom, but the setup's a little different. And Eddie's laying in the bed on her side of the bed. So once again, it's like both of these people are emerging okay, but they're not. But it's all different now.
Right.
The positions,
almost like they kind of swapped. They swapped, kind of,
Yeah, and I think that the dream's actually trying to look at it. The dream is showing that even with that, there may not be any closure, and maybe nothing was really wrong, but the positions, right? If in this relationship they had titles and positions, that those positions and titles have changed.
Right.
So I think that's really what that is, and I think that's what her being the driver represented as well. That the titles and positions have changed. That the title of long-term relationship people, and their relationship was years. It wasn't just a couple months.
Yeah.
So all of that is not that is now accepted as not what it was. And
Right.
so I think that that's where we are, and I think that's what that showed. The one thing that she did say in the dream to him is, look at that, the stove's not where it goes, or the stove's not in the right place. So a stove, and this is important, the stove is warmth.
Mm-hmm.
It's nourishment, whether it's standing there and warming up, or if it was, even a kitchen stove,
right. Cooking something.
Yeah, because that's a very strong kitchen thing. So the stove's still providing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still working. It's providing all that, but it's not where it was. In other words, now maybe that nourishment and warmth, heat, strength, all of that's coming from that stove is now providing what everyone needs, but on an individual level, not in a relationship or not as a couple.
Yeah, and I feel like for her, I feel like that's good. I feel like she's got to have her own now, and she gets to build her own and build her, things where, they were together. But I feel like I feel like a sense of like peace about this.
I really do. I think, when I heard this dream and heard the background about it, I'm like, this is really very positive. The other thing is that the bedroom, because a lot of the dream in the house took place in this bedroom,
mm-hmm.
The bedroom is the most intimate part of yourself.
Yeah.
That represents it. And I think we learned that last week with the alligator.
Yeah.
And because of that, that's where it is. And he's not where he belongs in it. And that may be the better way to look at it. He's not where he belongs in all of these roles.
Yeah, he was here, but now he's over there.
That's right.
But she's just noticing,
So, and that's all happening in her mind. Like in real life, she knows he's not where he belongs. But now she's like, nope, this is...
coming to peace
yeah,
with
this
everything.
is it. It's gone cold, right? The snow. And really moving on. So, Abby, I'm going to tell you, I think this is your year.
Yeah,
this is
I do
your
too.
year. I'm really excited for you. I'm glad this is a total coincidence that we're starting out the new year with a dream about really moving forward and having really a whole new outlook on life and be in a new place. But that's where the dream
I feel like
ended.
this is a good dream for
it
this
was
year.
a really
good
dream. Even if it doesn't seem like it, and even though it really was a good dream.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone has a great new year. We both do. We want you to have the best year ever. And we want you to have great
Sweet
dreams.
Yes.
We want you to dream and send us your dream and learn. Learn about how you're growing. Learn about the changes in your life. Learn about how you're impacting the world and other people. All of it through your dreams. So we're very grateful that you're joining us. And I hope Happy New Year.
Happy New
2026. And like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
And share.
Sweet dreams.
If you'd like to submit a dream for us to go over, you can email it to dreams@dawnw.com, dreams@daunw.com, or you can go to my website, which is dawnw.com, D-A-U-N. I know I keep saying that, but even when people know it, they still write D-A-W-N because it's so common, and I understand that. You just won't find me there.
Yeah.
But daunw.com, and there's a tab for Dreams Unveiled, and there's a PDF form, and you could just fill that out and send that to me as well. It probably will give you a better idea of the information we need. We need to know what's going on in your waking life at the time of the dream. If this dream would have come to me and I would have known anything about what's going on,
it would have been completely different.
That would have had a very different, actually very generalized, probably non-applicable thing. We can't do dream analysis without you. We absolutely need dreamers. Dreamers are wanted. I would have to call you, or we could do it by email or Zoom, as far as setting up a meeting, because I really need to know what's going on in your life at the time of the dream, or what the mitigating circumstances are, or what, how you are feeling, any of that kind of thing. Yeah. So please send us your dreams. We love tearing apart dreams.
Yes.